One day, the main character secretly entered an elf village in the forest. Then he was confronted by the forest guardian elf for illegal trespassing. The main character was a mage, and he quickly casted a magical crest in her belly. So, she immediately turns into a woman of culture, and he defeated her with his rock-hard weapon. Then the main character gave her the clapping exercise for the first time, and he finishes his attack on her with a magical white explosion. After that, the main character took the hidden treasure of the elf village. The next day, the guardian elf can still feel her global warming crisis, and the other elves in the village were also suffering the same thing, because of the magical crest. Then the guardian elf lost control of herself, and she keeps on doing a solo performance. A day later, the magical crest's power keeps getting stronger, and she cannot control her hands from strumming her guitar. So, to fix this problem, she needs to find the main character. The guardian elf decided that she needs to go to the human town to gain some valuable information. Then suddenly, she gets attacked by a slime, and the slime was dissolving her armor. Her weakness was now exposed, so the slime was now draining her spiritual energy. The guardian elf can counterattack, but she was weakened by the magical crest. Therefore, she might perish from this monster attack that drains her spiritual energy. Eventually, the guardian elf reached her enlightenment stage from feeling the goodness sensation, and she created the shower of glittering gold. Then the slime run away after getting hit by the forbidden shower, because it felt disrespected. After that, the guardian elf reached the human town. However, she was turned into a public exhibition, because the slime deleted her fabric armor a while ago. Then she went to a merchant, and the merchant was overpricing the dancer outfit he was selling to 2,500 gold. The guardian elf have no choice, but to buy and equip that cultured dancer outfit. Then she was now broke, with no way of buying information. Suddenly, she was approached by a talent scout, and he was hiring her to be a guest dancer. The payout will be great, so she takes on the offer. Then the guardian elf became a pole dancer. The magical crest was awakened again, and it activated her woman of culture instinct in front of her audience. So, she started doing a solo performance in front of the crowd. Then the manager was cheering for her to level up her playful solo performance. The guardian elf got her neuron activation, and she doesn't care becoming a wild public exhibition. Therefore, she keeps on using her dancing hands into the pit of abyss, and she enjoys the focus attention from her viewers. After that, she got some valuable information about the main character from her viewers. Then the elf went to a cave that is supposedly the main character's hideout. The guardian elf went inside the cave, but she was clumsy and slipped. Then she fell into a stagnant magical water, and she realized that the water was infused with the magical love potion. So, she tried her best to cross this underground lake. Then the moment she reached the other end, the guardian elf was attacked by a slithery creature, and it was giving her a full 360-degree slithery treatment. So, the guardian elf keeps on reaching her finale multiple times, and she was weakened by that slithery attack. The main character appeared in front of the elf, and on his hands was the hidden treasure of the elf village. Then she wanted the main character to return that magic item to the elves. However, the main character was the alpha in this scenario, and she have no strength to counterattack. Then the main character gave her the clapping ritual. In addition, the slithery creature was feeding her with the magical love potion. Therefore, her global warming was reaching a critically high level. The guardian elf was treated like an object, but all she can think right now was releasing liters of crystal clear mineral water. Then the main character asked her to become his personal servant, but she denied his request. The elf's ears were her weakness. So, the main character attacked that spot. Therefore, she immediately entered her enlightenment stage, and her eyes become hearts. Then she finally agreed to the main character's request, and she begged the main character to bestow his legendary power. So, the main character gave her the legendary Rod of Destruction, and the main character gave her a magical white explosion. In addition, the bonding time continued until evening. Then she was now calling the main character as her master, and the magical crest engraved in her was level up. The main character was powered by a fully charged battery. So, he did not stop giving the guardian elf the clapping ritual. The guardian elf was enjoying this moment, and she was losing her brain cells from too much midnight exercise. Then finally, the main character gave her an overflowing creamy elixir, and she created the shower of glittering gold. The next day, the main character asked the elf to go with him to the elf village. Then she was acting like a tsundere, but she instantly melted after the main character told her that he will give her a reward if she was obedient. So, the two of them become a travel buddy. A couple of days later, the guardian elf realized that the main character was not fighting monsters along their journey. Even when she was in trouble, and got devoured by a massive pitcher plant monster. The main character was only watching her. Luckily, another monster attacked the pitcher plant monster, and she managed to escape. Then she finally concluded that the main character might be a person that is weak. So, she thinks that she can defeat the main character with a surprise attack. The guardian elf went behind the main character to attack, but the moment she struck, she was restrained by the slithery creature. Then the main character explained that he used the hidden treasure of the elf village to summon this creature to protect him. Therefore, he can control and create slithery creatures. Then the main character punished the elf with the rod of destruction. As long as the elf have a magical crest in her, she was bound to be the main character's servant, and the main character's source of additional magical powers. The guardian elf apologized to the main character, and she created a crystal clear water blast. The next day, they reach a small human village. Then the elf becomes excited, because she can finally rest in a room, and eat delicious food. The main character agrees, since her cooking was terrible. Suddenly, the main character told her to change outfit. After that, they went to an item shop, and the shopkeeper was surprised that the elf was wearing a cultured outfit. Then the main character ordered for some magical herbs, and he was bargaining with the price. The shopkeeper is loyal to the suggested retail price. Therefore, the main character used the elven melons for a bargain negotiation. The shopkeeper was hypnotized by the massive front yard grown melons, and he tried not to look at her public exhibition, but his natural manly instinct made him watch the once in a lifetime opportunity in front of him. The guardian elf was doing a wonderful solo performance. So, the shopkeeper made a standing ovation, and he gave them a special discount. Then the main character and the guardian elf booked a room for two. The guardian elf got another idea for a surprise attack, because the main character was sleeping. The guardian elf was now going to strike the main character with her dagger. However, the main character teleported behind her. The main character was just pretending to be asleep, because he predicted that she will attack again. Then the main character decided that he will punish her again, and he will use this magical energy drink to make her an honest woman. The main character made her drink that beverage, and she was now an obedient elf. Then the main character commanded her to serve his legendary sword. The elf refused to serve his weapon. However, her body have a mind of its own, and she started doing the gulp gulp 3000. In addition, she combo that technique with a melon massage therapy. The main character asked about her cultural development, so she told him that she took care of her personal needs after their first encounter in the elf village. Then the main character explained that the magical crest powers is based on natural talent. Therefore, the guardian elf was a natural woman of culture. The elf confirmed the main character's analysis, so the main character rewarded her honesty by feeding her a fresh milkshake. After that, the main character got a brilliant idea, and he commanded her to make loud verbal expression during their bonding time to notify the neighbors that the main character was her owner. Then the main character and the guardian elf started their clapping ritual. The guardian elf was turned into an unlimited water dispenser, and the main character was not giving her any rest. Eventually, the main character gave her the ultimate magical explosion. The next day, the other people who stayed in the inn were gossiping about the noise pollution, and the innkeeper was teasing the elf for having too much fun last night. So, the elf felt the embarrassment. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. Moral lesson of the story: do not underestimate your opponent, or you might end up getting a magical crest. Anyways, here is your fantasy sauce, and make sure that it's limited to the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching.